When life gets tough, the one thing you can always be sure about is do something good for somebody else that wasn't expecting it. And it does not have to be a huge thing. Just hold a door, make eye contact, smile, tell someone they matter. That's all it takes, guys. This is Stoicism for a better life. Let's build a better life together with rational thought and Stoicism. Hello, Anderson Nation. This is your host, Anderson Silver, coming at you with Season 4, Episode 9. Here we go, Episode 69. Hee hee. The road trip is on for the summer. First things first, I'll be driving from Montreal to Wisconsin. And luckily, there is one member of Anderson Nation along the way in Pittsburgh. So it looks like I'll be stopping at Pittsburgh. And it even looks like I might be stopping off at the University of Pittsburgh for a little talkie talk. But who knows? The important thing is I will be meeting one person at least that I know of along the way. And if there's anybody else that lives around the Great Lakes, look on the map from Montreal to Wisconsin. If you're along that path somehow, not too far off, I will come visit. Or rather, I can if you want me to. I'll stop by, say hi. Maybe we can grab a tea. Maybe we can just shoot the shit or chop it up, whatever. If you live along that path and you'd like me to stop by, reach out. You know where to find me. Speaking of meeting you guys, boy, have I had the pleasure of chatting with a bunch of you this year. And one of them was called Lance. And he asked me a question about a month ago where he said, how do you bounce back from vices or distractions? Simple. In one single moment. Everything we do happens in one single moment. Any decision you make, any judgment, any movement, any thought, anything happens in one moment. All it takes is one moment, guys. It takes one moment to get back to our real selves, which is the rational mind. And once we take control of our ruling faculty, well, the battle is halfway won, isn't it? Now, of course, it wouldn't be an episode of Stoicism for a Better Life if we didn't have some type of ancient quote. And here we go. We're looking today at Epictetus' Discourses. I'm reading from Book 1, 2012. If you want to know just how little concerned you are about things good and bad, and how serious about things indifferent, compare your attitude to going blind and deaf and mentally in the dark, how inappropriate your values are. So why did I choose this quote? Because Epictetus is quite literally telling his student exactly how to get past the moment in which he's stuck in vices and other distractions. He's reminding them, hey, being distracted by that which is not in your control and that to which you should be indifferent is just like being deaf and blind to everything around you. The point is, having a reduced capacity of your physical perceptive organs, eyes, ears, whatever, is the same as being blind with your mental capacities for perception if we're not careful, if we don't use our judgment to try and see things for what they really are. Go back to Marcus Aurelius when he constantly talks about, let's see things for what they are. No, that is not wine. It's just grape juice. It's mashed up grapes, man. That is not fish. It's dead flesh. What you see on Instagram is not a happy life. It's not reality. It's fake. That rush you get from, gaming or porn or, like in my case, it's endless projects of getting my hands dirty in new things. We're just chasing that high of that hobby, of that habit. I almost said habitude. That's the French way. And chasing that high makes us blind to everything else, I talk about Helen Keller in my book sometimes, and this is precisely why. She was deaf and mute growing up, and people would tell her always like, oh, you're so, it's so sad. You're jailed in your mind because you can't see the world around you. You can't hear the world around you. And people would say this to her even after, she finished university and she got her doctorate or whatever. Like, she crushed life. She did better than most average people. And everybody around her was still like, oh, poor Helen. She can't see the world. She's not free. She's trapped in her mind. And she kept telling them, no, you're the one who is trapped. You are trapped by your perceptive organs. For I am the one who is free. I am free in my mind. And you've heard that quote from many people, I am free in my mind. I say this as well. Our ancients write about it all the time. Even cynics, Diogenes, right? We can find freedom only in our mind. Only in our mind. So, Lance and everybody else, if you know you have a bad pattern that you want to break, well, consider what that means. That means 1, yeah, you have something to fix. But 2, it means you know that something is wrong. You've identified that, hey, this pattern is not right. That part of you that's saying, this is a vice, that's you. That's the real you. That's your rational mind. And that is who you should be talking to. When you have those thoughts, you should immediately write it down. Immediately run to your journal or whatever piece of paper you can find. Write it down and keep it close. That's the guy who's going to get you out, because that's the guy who knows good and bad exists only in our minds, and everything else exists outside. And we only chase what's outside because of feelings, emotions, and our body's incessive want and need for pleasure. Pleasure's fun too. I like pleasure. But there is a time and place for everything. So I play Forza sometimes. I do fun things sometimes that I wouldn't want to share publicly. But those are sometimes. Most of the time, I try to do the right thing. Try to be a dad as good as I can. I try to be a worker as good as I can. I try to be a manager as good as I can. I try to be a husband as good as I can. I just try to be a good human being as much as I can. And what gets me through the hardest days is when I just give up. I shut down all my wishes and wants and put my to-do list away for the day, and I just give up. And I only focus on making people happy. Anyone, strangers, family members, other drivers around me, people at work, whoever, it doesn't matter. When life gets tough, the one thing you can always be sure about is do something good for somebody else that wasn't expecting it. And it does not have to be a huge thing. Just hold a door. Make eye contact. Smile. Tell someone they matter. That's all it takes, guys. This is Stoicism for a better life. Let's build a better life together with rational thought and Stoicism. And a little bit of humor. Speaking of humor, you're going to have to suffer through this one because I'm a dad. Why do ducks have all those feathers? To cover their butt quacks. Now, I know some of you cringed. Some of you went, meh, but some of you laughed. And hey, I accomplished one of my goals for the day, which was to make people laugh out loud, and I did. So I'm free, I'm off. You guys have a good one, and I'm rooting for you. Go do something good.